Come out to the box, boy. Get yourself out the box.
Excuses are ridiculous. Now let's talk about the problems. Give me something, man. Let's talk about it. White supremacy. Let's talk about guns. Let's talk about Trump. These are the three things, the three main things that I think are boiling under the surface here. You go.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna backtrack a little bit before this administration. And the rise of racism actually started during the Obama era because they couldn't handle a colored man in office. That's number one. So that right there started the true rise of the division and hate was during, I think it was around his second election. It rose
the rise of the
first,
Tea Party.
but it really got, yes, exactly. It got really
Racism
evident
became a political movement
second term.
for the first time in a long time, yeah.
So, right. So then we go into the Trump era. Now, the thing with the Trump era, to me, I have my issue with the Trump era, but a lot of times people may feel like I may be trying to give Trump a pass. And it's not really that. It's the fact that when you have something so fake to me, so evidently fake to me, okay, I have an issue really believing that this is a thing that is just constructed by Donald Trump or some people around himself. You know what I mean? What I mean by that is he's a reality TV star, right? One thing TV stars know how to do is make things seem right. So I'm gonna use an example. I'm not trying to discredit what your video, right? But I'm gonna use an example of that video.
So let me say this. Where are you from?
I'm from Colombia.
Colombia.
I'm Hispanic.
And is this a setup? Did I ever meet you before? Huh?
I'm Hispanic and I vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump. Yes, Mr. Trump. We love you.
That woman could have been a paid actor to go up there and do that, and therefore to give Trump some type of notoriety with the Latino community. Same thing with some of these black actors, what was the Sheriff Clark or whatever?
God.
Because I actually believe he thought that way. I really believe he thought that way, but I'm just saying that these people, that's the thing that reality TV is supposed to make you think.
It's really real, yeah.
TV is reality.
When it's all meant to just push buttons and get you to keep watching.
Bingo. And keep you engaged. And if there's one thing that we can't say that we can take with Trump is he does know how to keep people engaged. And so with the Trump era coming in, I was actually happy because it put a conspiracy theory to rest that people kept saying wasn't true, which is one, you don't got to be qualified. You don't need to meet any qualifications for this position. Okay? All you got to do is have people around you make the decisions. You're just a figurehead. You know what I mean? And I mean, it did that, and I was happy for that because I got so sick of people saying, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. That's not, no, it's very true. Qualifications to be the head of this country are so low.
Yeah.
Okay? It's almost comparable, let's put it on a hip-hop level. It's almost comparable to how hip-hop was back in the day versus now. You had to have lyrics. You had to have content. Today, you can just mumble over it.
As long as you have a machine behind you to push it.
As long as you got the machine behind you to push it. That's how I feel about President.
What you just said, though, let's talk about the anomaly of that, though. I hear what you're saying. I'm glad it got rid of that because most of us should know that by now. You don't need that to be president. But it depends on the president as to how many people behind him are pulling the strings. The people who still think that these Masons and all, sure, they're powerful people who join societies. I'm not going to deny that. That's just what they are. It's in plain sight, and you see it. But the truth is, it's about the money, Lebowski. The money. Like, rich people, and they vote for rich people things, like cutting their own taxes while raising yours.
Brother, say that one more time. Say it again, because I think they need to hear that again.
For rich people and side with rich people to stay rich and to keep you poor. It's about the money, Lebowski. That's the secret society. It's in your face.
Thank you.
They're showing it to you every day.
It's not a secret. You think these people go play golf? Think Trump's going to go play golf with some poor mayor of some district that he doesn't care about? There are people voting. That's not what he's doing. That's not what's happening. Yeah. That is the way that this works and has always worked. Thank you for saying that. I've been saying it for years. I need someone else.
I got your back on this one, man. It's a whole different type of true or false. Man. I think we're going to agree on pretty much all of that. So let's. What's the second conspiracy theory? Is that the same thing?
Nah. That to me that's done. That's done now. The conspiracy of it is simply this: we have an electoral college. Okay, that means while you think your vote counts, it does. It doesn't. You know what I mean? It depends on the person who's voting for it, who's going to vote is actually going to.
It's the reason why Hillary Clinton won the popular vote and lost the election. It's the reason why Al Gore lost the election.
So,
even though he won the election.
Bingo, exactly. We've seen this. Thank you. We've seen this over.
It's not a conspiracy, people. Okay? It's in front of your face.
It's not a conspiracy. This is the way that it works. So
the solution to that is
stop with all that.
Vote for the people who are going to change that, who want to change that. Ask those questions. Don't ask who got fellatiated in the Oval Office. Ask, what does he think about the Electoral College? Don't ask who looks more handsome while he's standing there and more presidential, which is I realized why they voted for Trump, because that's what these people were trying to ask. They were looking, we're in a populist position right now in our society, and they're looking for someone to be real. There are a few people out there that talk about these issues. Find them. They're there. But anyway, I'm with you on that. But all of the excuses and all of the things that this guy, Trump, has said has brought out a level of the white supremacy, white privilege, and white blaming of everything, everybody else except him and the government or the people who actually do the things to them, blaming the poorest and the people with the least amount of power for all of their problems. The invasion's coming!
Yeah. I've been on record many times saying that my major issue with Donald Trump is he fearmongers. He fearmongers people. He fearmongering people at the south of the border, and he was fearmongering Muslims. And I said, I don't know why we, especially this country, allow something that we know is so detrimental to a people as a whole, as we've already experienced it with the natives. They fearmongered the natives. They fearmongered black people. We see how detrimental it is to your nation. So why are we still allowing it? Okay, for everyone out there who wants to say this, Obama, he deported more immigrants than, the previous five presidents.
And they were almost all of them. They were almost all of them criminals.
Okay, but here's the thing I say to that. Find me a speech where Obama was fear-mongering Mexicans.
That's how easy it is.
You're not gonna find him.
You know what? Let me show you something. Yo, let
He
me
did
show you
his job.
something even more critical than that. All of the rah-rah and the yelling and the rapists and the murderers and the invasion talk and the other talk has brought more of these invaders in. We're at an all-time high. I thought you were supposed to stop it with your scare tactics. The influx of illegal aliens is now not an all-time high, of course, but it's higher than it's been in the past few years. Why? Because you're working backwards. People think that they've got to come now, because if they don't come now, the wall might be there and they may never get a chance. Whereas when you do things like intelligent people and you read the data and you try to be, I'm not sure that I like that Obama evicted all those people from our country, but the criminals, guess what? You're a criminal, that might be just what happens. But when he was there, it was never this high. So the person that you voted for, to get rid of the immigrant problem has seen twice as many immigrants come in as the person that you said believed in open borders. How thick-headed do you have to be to start realizing that, well, you know what? Maybe I was wrong here. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many people are coming, because they tell them that every day. And every time they say more are coming, they vote against it still. They want more Trump without actually seeing that they're causing their own problem. Can you imagine?
Ah, man.
Next.
Okay, so
talk about guns, man.
I think we've kind of we're on the same page with that. Okay, so I'll let you go with the guns. You served in the military, so go ahead.
As a military vet, I can tell you, I don't want civilians with automatic weapons. We'll start there. I don't think you need them. I think they're made for the theater of war, not for self-defense. They're made for proactive violence, not defense or reactive violence. I think you need better background checks. I think it's a normal thing. I think if you I have to renew my license every year. I have to get a new tag every year. I got to get a emissions test every year just to drive a car to make sure I'm not hurting anybody or the environment. I got to make sure that I get an eye test every year to ensure that my car doesn't hurt other people. If you own a gun and you don't have to go through any checks, any tests, any proficiency tests, any sort of understanding of the weapon that you have or your vehicle of death, what do you think is going to happen? But I say that and you'll go, well, my Second Amendment right. That's what's up. If you want a well-organized militia and you want to become a part of that, I was in the Army. And I can tell you that those people with most of those guns are not well organized. And I can also tell you that I'm not the only one who thinks so. 90% of the population says we need stronger background checks. So why don't we have them? And I'll let you talk about that. Why don't we have them?
Well,
if we're living in a democracy, and even the people in the NRA, the people signed up to the NRA, not the head people, 90% of the population, every time they're polled, says we need better background checks. Why don't we have them?
It hurts the machine, the money machine.
Because your politicians are corrupt. That's why. Because they don't listen to you, they listen to their donors.
Bingo.
That's it.
That's right. That's the way that works. Can I jump in here real quick and to talk about this whole gun issue, gun control? First off, let me say this. Gun control is already a thing. Guns are already controlled to a particular point, so therefore gun control already exists. For those of you all who get triggered by the word gun control, just to let you know, it's already there. Now, as far as the guns go, I like to always take a complicated issue and bring it down to my level of what's happening. So I'm going to say this. This is going to be a little bit of a what if scenario. We know one thing for certain in this country and in this world is technology continues to move forward. Okay? It always moves forward. That's the way it works. Okay? So your guns are going to get more sophisticated and they're going to get a lot more dangerous and a lot more powerful, a lot more compact. Now, I studied the early days of the police force for a while, and one of the things that why I own a gun myself, and am not against people owning guns, I do have an issue with the mix between pharmaceutical company and firearms in this country. I have an issue with that. So my issue with that is if I'm taking a pharmaceutical drug that knocks my body out of balance, which means that if something you take makes you nauseated, it's knocking your body out of balance. If it can cause headaches, it's knocking your body out of balance. I have an issue with the mix between this opioid epidemic country that we have and the mix of firearms.
I get
it
you.
It causes a very, very
that's a toxic combination
situation.
Yeah.
That's a very toxic combination. What I mean by bringing it home is for anyone who's ever lived in an apartment of any kind where you can hear your neighbors stomping above your head or them through the walls. I don't really want Mr. Billy Badass Joe with his guns out who's not properly trained on how to store them or even operate them outside of shooting paper targets in his home drinking and playing with his gun collection. Because I don't want a bullet to go through the wall and take a life of a person, a baby, or anything like that. The reason why you don't need these high-powered weapons or these high-frequency shooting weapons is because you're allowing people like that to get their hands on them. If you get into when the police, in the early days of the police, in the early days of the DEA, there were so many incidents where these people were killing people 1 to 2 apartments over trying to stop drug busts because of their lack of training with firearms. People were getting killed. Babies were getting killed in the crib. Okay? I don't want that. I have children. I live in an apartment. I may live in an apartment again. I don't want that type of a-hole living above me, side of me, below me.
Man.
So that's my thing with guns. Is we have a dangerous combination of the two.
We have a very dangerous cocktail.
Dangerous cocktail.
For the people who say that, so what if I was on the other side is, well, if you take away our guns, then only the bad guys will have them.
Let me say this. Bad guys are always going to have stuff.
Right. But I want to defend myself.
That's the way. Yeah, that's the way that works. So I'm not saying that we need to take all guns away, but I'm questioning the fact of why do you who work in the office space, the warehouse space, or the Walmart space need a gun that holds 100 bullets, high-powered scope, accessories to stop access kickback, give me some more things, laser targets, what is all that, what is all that going to do for you when the possibility that someone's going to kick you in the door?
That stuff doesn't work. Those guns won't even work for that. They are proactive, violent guns. They're guns to forward violence. They're guns to overtake and get an objective done. They are not reaction violence guns. They are not reactive violence guns. defense, in other words. Small guns, things you can hold, things you can pull
Defense
quickly,
guns.
things you may not even
Small guns.
have to have big kickback, things where you can maybe fire faster. Shotguns are
Shotguns.
even, yeah.
Widespread.
And
widespread.
these are not, those types of guns are not made for self-defense. They're not made to protect your home. And if you have one of them, you probably aren't very safe. You're not safer. Because another big number is more people die from the gun in their home than use the gun in their home to protect themselves. That's a fact.
That's very true. Check the statistics on that. That's very true. That's a fact.
I think we need to find out why it is that 90% of Americans think we need simple things like background checks, but it won't get done. As long as your politicians are being paid off by the NRA and are being controlled by the gun lobbies, they care about their money more than your life. I don't want to hear your thoughts and prayers. And another thing I'm going to say, I'm going to end it here with this. I'll let you give your final thoughts. Yeah, this wasn't just about guns. This was a lot. We've gone 45 minutes. But I will say this. After Sandy Hook, I realized this will never change. When someone can go in and shoot 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds and 10-year-olds in the face and kill them, and then someone else comes out and says, well, it was a false flag operation. It was false. Talk to those people who lost their children and make them feel like they're losing them all over again because you don't even believe it. And nothing got changed. I realized how deep the problem was, people. There'll be another one tomorrow. There'll be another one tomorrow.
It's in the culture.
Yep, it's in the culture. No, stand up. That's it.
Right?
That's it, man. And with that being said, peace.
And I'm Nixon.